We're ready to go.
Ready to go. Hi, everybody. This is Lesley from Springvale Public Library, and this.
She's new.
I am new. It's really only been 4 weeks in the library, seriously. And I wanted to introduce to you Mr. Bruce McMillan, our award-winning author and artist. And we were meeting Bruce here at Cape Porpoise as part of our program, Mainers on Main Street. And what we're really doing is we're trying to show everybody the people and the places that make Springvale community very special, because it is an incredibly special community. So Bruce has written, how many books have you written, Bruce?
45 kids books, 2 adult books.
That's a lot.
Yeah,
that is
so
a
far.
Lot. But, oh yeah, so we are in the exact same place that Bruce actually photographed and wrote one of his books called, I'm going to put the camera so you can see it. Wait for it, wait for it. Oh, sorry. There. That may be backwards, but it says the remarkable riderless runaway tricycle. And you know what's really interesting is where we're standing right here. I'm going to show you. Right down there on Cape Porpoise, there's a winch there. And this is the exact same spot. That's the same winch right there.
Yep.
That runaway tricycle kept wanting to get away, but they found it off the boat.
And there it is.
So there it is.
Down there. It's here.
And the tricycle is here with us.
Looking at the winch.
Yeah. So look how beautiful Cape Porpoise is. Isn't this wonderful? So I want to thank Bruce. Oh, look, somebody says they love your books, Bruce.
Oh, goodness. Who is it?
That's Sheila. And there's
Oh,
more
way to
people
go.
there, too.
Oh, that's great fun. Hi, everyone.
Hey, yeah, see? Somebody else said hello.
How fun.
Yes.
Oh, this is unbelievable, the technology. Because I came up here in high school. Boy, none of this existed.
I won't tell you when I went to high school. So Bruce has gone from being an author, a photographer, but now you are really, your painting is your passion right now.
Yeah, I'm really into painting watercolors. Been for the past 10 years. Yeah. So I mean, we go through transitions and stuff. I still might do a book or two. I've not ruled that out. But I like watercolors. I'm just having a great time.
Marlene Michaud parent said hello.
Hmm?
Marlene said hello.
Hey, Marlene, once the same position as you.
Right
And Marlene
here.
was a big supporter of my books. I'll never forget how much she supported me.
Oh, another patron says, another person, they love your book. And yes, the real tricycle is very special. So today Bruce is going to...
By the way, the real tricycle was found. I found it here at the Kennebunkport then dump. Now it's no longer a dump, but it did come from the dump.
Oh, someone says hello, Bruce from Whitefish Bay, Wisconsin.
Wow.
Via Reykjavik.
Whoa! Wait a minute. Whitefish Bay, Wisconsin. Via Reykjavik. Could that be Margot?
I'm not sure. But we can answer all of these people
Okay.
because there are a lot of people making comments. What we're going to do is we're going to watch Bruce do an
Okay,
original
let's see.
painting for us.
Let's do a quick watercolor. And I've got so much nice... The sun is behind me now. We've timed this right. And fortunately we got the weather. So we have some shadows, which is always nice. We've got Goat Island Light, which I've painted many times. But every time is different. It's like Monet with his haystacks. I mean, or the cathedral. You can do it so many times. It's always different. And I got so many boats now. Boats are always fun. And the dock and the expanse of the dock. And I think I'll just do a quick, simple little sketch of some boats. Boats are always easy and fun to do. And I'm going to do it very loose. I like to paint. Well, my career after 45 children's books, of which all but 2 were photo illustrated, I have done that. I've done the realistic taking photographs, the pictorial thing. And it's great and I still do it. But with watercolors, I can go beyond it. And I can paint and be loose about it. So I'm not trying to paint a real photograph of it. I'm trying to paint an interpretation of it. And I remember, before I paint, I always say one thing to myself. It's what my grandson Teague said when we were painting in Venice once. I took a picture of Teague, and he was standing in front of a painting at the museum, great museum, and there was the painting, and there was Teague, and there was the label for the painting. And I took a picture of it, and anyhow, back at the apartment, when we went back later on, I put it up on the computer. I said, well, let's paint this picture. So we did, and Teague's painting showed the painting, and then him. Then above the painting was the sign.
Oh, interesting.
And
I
I
to
thought,
perceive that.
well, this is interesting. Of course I had to ask. And so I asked young Teague, I said, so why did you put this up here? Whereupon he crossed his arms and looked at me rather, disgusted.
Suspiciously.
Oh, I was like, Grandpa, and he said very simply, Grandpa Bruce, it's a painting. You can do anything.
Oh, that's perfect.
So every time before I do a painting, I always say to myself, it's a painting. You can do anything. So let's see here. And I always do, I'll start, and if it's not right, I'll throw it away.
You're not supposed to throw away art, are you, Bruce?
No, I don't actually. What I do, and you as a librarian, you'll appreciate this. If I do and it's not working, I'll say, that's not a painting, that's bookmarks. And I will cut them up into bookmarks and autograph them, and people love them.
So does that mean I'm going to get one of those? Or are you going to?
Bookmark?
Yeah.
Oh, of course, as a librarian. Okay, let's see here. What shall I do?
So much. Look at how beautiful that is. Bruce is going to look through his artistic eye.
Well, the tide's coming in and the wind's coming in, so the boats are all going to be going that way.
I have to say, I'm from Manitoba, which is in the middle of the continent. And it is prairies, and there's not an ounce of water to be found other than in some of the Great Lakes, which are very deep. But there is no ocean. And I have to say, when we go to places like, or when I come to places like the beaches and the coast here of New England, it's so remarkable. Even like the smell, you remember the smell, and that will always be, to me, what New England is. So, and I think, Bruce, your paintings are also very quintessential in New England in some of them.
Can't help it, except when I'm in Iceland.
And apparently Bruce's family's in Iceland, in case anybody's watching from Iceland.
No, my
adopted family.
My real family is in Switzerland. Okay, so I think. Okay, there's a real simple little sketch. And maybe I'll throw something. Okay, and the fun thing about watercolor is it's so playful. Now the one trick you can do when you're painting watercolors, you can paint wet on wet, different colors, or nicely wet on dry, which means you get a nice wind in the sun so it'll be drying fast, which is good. The other thing about watercolors is that what I do is I mix the color on the paper. I don't often I've got greens and I don't use greens. I'll throw down yellow and then I'll throw blue and different blues, different yellows, and I'll get different greens, and so it gives me a much better effect. Okay, and as I'm looking at this, I'm thinking there's one little thing I'd like to do.
I'm going to put the camera right on what Bruce is working on here.
Okay. As you can see, my drawing is very picturesque. Loose. Now, it's not like a cartoon where you fill in the lines. The lines are just there to sort of give us some shape here. Okay. And I usually paint light to dark. So I'll put in the light colors first.
I'm trying to get a good angle here, people. I'm not trying to make you seasick.
Let's see here. I will start. And the reason for the light and dark is I do layers of color. So you lay colors on top of each other, and by doing that, you can't lay a light one over a dark one. Because in watercolor, the only white is the paper.
Ah,
right.
Yes.
Right, so It's always fun to leave spaces open. Okay, well let's lay down some. Let's lay down some. The start of some greens. And some in the distance. And the most satisfying watercolors when you get done are the ones where you've kept it loose and where you've used the fewest amount of strokes. As one of my, as Oscar, my watercolor friend in Iceland says, stop, 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 it's done, stop, stop. Well, just one more, no, stop, stop. Oh, no, stop. Okay. And then I think I will. See, I'm thinking in my mind about what's going to dry and where I can work. So I think I'll do a little messing up with the sky there. And just throw in some loose color. And I always don't like it the same, so in addition to some of that very light blue, I'll get out some cobalt blue. I'll get out some French ultramarine and throw a little just up the top. Because the sky always goes light to dark. Alright. And we leave space for the clouds. And that's a start. Now, I'd like to fill in the ocean. Oh, let's get a big brush. Get gobs of water. Big brush.
Water. We should have used salt water. What would happen if you used salt water, Bruce?
Well, it would work, I guess. Sometimes there is a technique where people will, with watercolor, throw salt crystals on to the watercolor, and you'll get a crystal effect, a radiating effect. So
interesting.
It's not what I use. Sometimes I will use, let's use a little wax. Sometimes I'll use wax resist. I learned this little trick down at the Museum of Fine Arts in Boston when I saw John Singer Sargent watercolor. And he had no rules. He liked just doing everything. And he made this sparkles on the water. It glistened. And what he used was a paraffin candle. And it resists the watercolor.
I have to say, I did a children's craft when I was a children's librarian.
You did it.
Well, I used white crayon. We used white.
Sure.
So white crayons, and then we had the kids paint over whatever they drew. So it was really cool.
This is just clear
wax. Wanda Parent wants to say hello.
Who?
Wanda Parent.
Oh! A friend of Marlene, I would hope.
I guess.
A relative. Let's see here.
Right.
Let's see here. Okay, so let's add a little, and you have to think ahead where you're going to do it, if you want to do it. I think I'll just do a little reflections in the water around these boats. That's all. Nothing major, just a touch. Don't overdo it. Okay, now I'm going to lay down water. And we start off, and remember, I'm going to be layering this water. So I'm starting off with the lightest color that the water will be. And then I'll lay darker colors over it. So I'm starting off with this color, which is, that's cobalt green. I love it. It's one of my go-to colors.
So if my kids are watching, that's the same color as our curtains, and it's not blue, it is cobalt green.
Right. This is the light color up here. That's cobalt blue. Okay.
No, we're telling them they're green curtains. Because they like to think our house has blue in it. It doesn't. It has green.
Oh, it's green.
Yes.
Well, see, but I'm using it as the ocean here because when the water is thin, especially when a curl comes up in a Florida beach, you see that
right
color right through there.
Yeah.
Okay, so now I'm just going to lay down some of this, just a little bit of this light blue places, and I'm working faster, and then I'm going to use some Prussian blue which is a more traditional blue.
Oh, that's pretty.
And we're going to bring that out. And then I can outline the boats a little bit more. And so this is, I'm using some wet into wet. You can see that's going, and look at, oh goodness, oh no, some blue overran into this yellow, and guess what color it made? Green!
Green, like my curtains.
What it's going to be.
That's what Bruce is looking at, but this is through an artist's eye.
Okay, so now, yeah, we'll get this done in this little session here. So now I'm going to lay down some, because this is dry now, I'm going to lay some cobalt green, which is really not a true green. It's just too light for a deep green. And so I'm going to lay some of that into this yellow, okay, to pick up some greens. Now the reason I'm not doing it all over is because I'm going to want to mix shadows into there with a deeper green, and I'm going to do that up top in the distance. And the nice thing about this is it leaves little green, yellow flecks, so it gives it a little bit more depth. Okay. Now I want to let that dry. See, I'm trying to think ahead. Parts have got to dry. One of the things I always work with is my Viva towels. Yes,
This is not a plug for any,
no,
you know.
no. It's the best paper towel. No, it's.
Did you have those during the pandemic? Did you have to like go and like sit outside?
No, I was panicked because you couldn't get them. Unfortunately, I had bought a big supply and stored up, and so I was like, okay. But no, the reason is it's called Viva Signature Cloth, and because there's no texture. And so I can actually put down, if I do something, I will put water on and lift color.
Oh, interesting.
And I always use it to get the amount of water I want in my brush or something, or just that. So I always have one in hand, and I always have one ready to wipe up. Okay, now, while that's drying, I'm going to go into the boats, because that's all nice and white. And I'm going to, you can make anything. So I like the traditional colors. I like the buff and with the red trim.
I like what he's doing there with the brushes there.
What am I doing?
It's like you're like adding color and you're taking water right on the palette.
Oh yeah, I'll just get it to.
I'm a Luddite. What can I say?
To a sense. Oh no, listen, we all are to a degree. Okay, so now. And see, I'm just getting the impression of it. I'm not really laying in that real color. Let's lay down some. Now, cadmium red is nice, but I like to mix it up with a little pyro orange.
Pyro orange.
Oh, that gives it a little bit more spark.
Zesty.
Absolutely. Brightens it right up. So. Fine. Okay, so there we are.
Wow, the images are really just starting to evolve out of those colors as you have.
Yeah. Now, if I was doing it over, I would have made that one smaller, but it doesn't matter. It's a painting.
Or a bookmark. Ah!
No. This is a painting. Oh no, it could then become a 5x7. Yeah. That's happened many times.
That's a large painting to become a bookmark. And I would hate for you to cut it up.
Well, I got an inch extra around here, so it'll be an 8x10. Okay, so now I'm not going to mess up there anymore, except for I want to give it a little bit of depth. So I'm going to get some Payne's gray blue, and just to add, because out there it is darker on the lower extremities.
also, if you can tell that just, it's the painting is just becoming different every time you add a color. This is like every day to Bruce. Like, yeah, you added a color, big deal.
What's fun is your brain is engaged.
Well, it's like, it's seeing it in such a dramatically different way that, like I said, you add one color and the picture has become something different. And I think that's, I think that is how an artist sees, maybe.
Well,
yeah. Do you think you can teach creativity?
I don't know. Just you can teach looseness, just letting people go. That's what I tried to do. One of the most fun demos that we had was with the chicken demo at the library.
Sam Clendaniel!
The painting is at the library.
It is. It's so awesome.
I had more. That was such a great day. I mean, there were like 80 people, the parents, the kids, everybody doing it. But just seeing how loose I did it, I think let them loosen up and just enjoy doing it. Okay, so I'm just going to add a little bit of light texture. See, now I'll lift because that's so much wet there. I know that's not going to dry in time, so I'm lifting off a lot of color.
Viva the liftoff!
Yeah, lifting off. Oh, come on. I just want a bit pure color. There, that's better. Just to give it a little bit of depth. And then, because of the sun's coming this way, I want to work in the shadows. Oh, I know what I want to do. I want to add some, well, this is getting dry enough, so I will add, oh yeah, we're going good. I will add some Prussian blue to this foliage on the left side because the sun is coming from the other side. Give that some depth.
So, it's funny that you mentioned the chickens. I think it was...
Oh yeah, I love the chicken day. That was my favorite day.
Sam actually did a chicken watch for us. They showed us all about her chickens in her backyard with her daughter
nice.
Sydney. Yeah.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, so we got to meet them.
Oh, they were the best chickens. They were so well behaved. They were so much fun.
Sam says my girls were stars.
Oh, they were. They're forever in the library.
They are. We have it framed in the library.
The funniest thing was, you know, her husband wanted to buy the painting.
What?
He wanted to buy the painting as a
You're not gonna let
surprise.
her...
He contacted me from some place at sea and stuff, and he was I said, I'm sorry, it's not for sale, it's in the library, but he wanted to give it for a special present for her. So that was nice.
You didn't like recreate one for her, Bruce?
A little love. Well, I offered to, but he wanted the original. That was the deal.
Hey, Sam's husband, let's make a deal on the side.
All right, so now I want to just add some more yellow over this blue to make these greens a little warmer. And some it's going to be wet on wet, and some it's going to be wet on dry, so that's going to add another extra little effect. And
look at that.
there you have the bush. And I might do that just a little bit up top. Got a little smoothness. Boom. There we go. Okay, and to give it just a little extra depth, I'll get some.
You know, he does keep saying extra.
Paint. Really? Huh?
Yeah. I lost my connection. Okay, there we go. Okay.
And there. See this.
Voila.
This gives it more directionality. Okay. Now the only thing left really is to, well, let's see, I can just add some accents. Is the boats. Now, underneath the boats, that shadows are a little bit darker, so I will try for some accents there where the shadows come in. And then I lay down some ultramarine, and then I'll add some quinacridone purple violet. See, so it gives that nice, it keeps it bright.
Oh, that's pretty.
This doesn't make it dark, it just adds color. Now they're a little dark.
Viva, here it comes.
Viva la différence. More than I need, but I'll just go in. That lays it in for the background, and then I'll go in and later and add just a little touch of Payne's Gray Blue. And my Payne's Gray Blue, many artists have different Payne's Grays or whatever, but the only one is the S&S Schmecky's Payne's Gray Blue. All colors aren't the same no matter what the brand. Okay, so now I need some accents in here. So I will just add a little bit of, I gotta get this nice and light on the brush. There we go. You use lots of paper towels. Lots of paper towels. Oh yeah, no kidding. Yeah, I really was. Oh man. Back. I mean, it took a while, but they did come back.
Our supply chain seemed to reconnect.
Yeah, but you have to pay attention because they're not there all the time. So anyhow, but I buy Here's where the toilet paper. I don't like to keep going every week to get toilet paper. What a waste of time!
You're probably Costco's best customer.
No, it's just a waste of time. Keep going back and forth and back and forth. So I have plenty of paper towels and stuff to last me, but let's see here. Okay, now, as we say, the accents. Okay, now, you can see, I gave them a little bit of depth. Now I have to make the holes for the windows. They're just dark shadows. Just put the impression of them. Oh, look at this.
Oh, look at that.
We're gonna finish right on time here. Okay, now I know I can hear Oscar saying to me, "Stop, stop." But I see one place where I don't want to bleed, and so and I just lift that, and I don't get the bleed. Okay, I think just a touch in the windows. Variety. And I've managed to maintain the whites, and I can see one place where I do need to okay.
Voila.
And there is, in 30 minutes.
That it is.
Really?
So I wanted to say thank you for coming out here.
It's an honor to do this, and with my library friends and everybody. Look, it's a beautiful day.
It is. It
I know
really
it's a
is.
pandemic. Watching?
Yes, thank you. So we are open Monday through Friday from 9:30 to 5. We are doing curbside and people are in the building. So we're just so happy to have everybody back, and we're gonna take care. Bye everybody. Well, that's bye, Bruce. Oh, he's.
Oh, I just.
He
I
went
just
back.
saw
Oscar,
one
look
little
at that.
spot, just
Oscar's
one,
going.
Just a little going on there. I needed a lead into it, so. Okay.